Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Whether you are ready or not, this one-horse town, that'd be kind of a stupid statement. Get me there. Just get me there. The Miller Electric Center, state-of-the-art, partially acquainted with shade and fans, concessions, restrooms, all right there in front of you, beginning on July 23rd. I'll get there momentarily, but it's also happening in Frisco, Texas, the Big 12 already underway with their football meetings. And just amazing today. Brett Yormark coming out saying they're the most competitive conference in college football. I get pushing the product. I get pimping the product. I also understand embellishment and flat out lies. But sooner or later, man, you just got to jam it up. I don't even know the teams that are in the Big 12 right now. And it's going to the SEC in a week. Then it's going to the Atlantic Coast Conference in a week. And we're going to get all of this talk. And again, the pillaging. And now that the dust has settled a little bit as far as conferences, the next major conversation becomes, is it the 5+11 model? Or are we going to go to that, what was it, 2-2-2-1-3, whatever it is? I'll look at both, later in the program. Either one is good. For what it's worth, I would rather have 11 at-large teams. I think that's the best as to where we go. But there are so many issues, trying to settle the NIL, trying to settle the transfer portal, how quick until we expand. Again, going from 4 to 12 teams, what's next? And again, the model for appreciation of this game. And last year, Notre Dame getting beaten by Ohio State, a number 8 against the number 7. For those of you, and there were many, 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 many of you who said we don't even need a 4-team college football playoff, right? Just give us 12. Look at that, 8 against 7. They're going straight seeding. Obviously, the Jaguars, I thought, dodged the bullet by keeping it in the NFL the way that hopefully it will always remain. That is 8 divisional winners, one bye in each conference, but the other divisional winners, regardless of record, gets to host during Wild Card Weekend. All right, great news for you folks, you fans. It is here, Wednesday, July 23rd. That'll be the first practice that is open for Jaguar fans, and it's going to open the parking lots at 7. The gates open at 7:45. Practice expected to start at 8:30. Let me give you the dates, and you got to go to jaguars.com for all the details. But July 23rd, Wednesday, that's a Wednesday. Thursday, July 24th. Friday is exclusive season ticket member day. Well, that's a very important day on Friday, July 25th. Sunday, July 27th. The NFL Back Together Sunday with Rookie poster giveaway. All right? It just gets bigger and better. Monday, July 28th, first day of full pads. Woo-hoo-hoo. I can't stand the expression, can't wait. I never use it. But if I was, it would be on Monday, July 28th at the Miller Electric Center. Then Tuesday, the 29th, they'll break for the fans until Sunday, August 3rd, Tuesday, August 5th as well. There are more practices that will be available to the local and national media, but you've got yourself set with some dates. Again, I don't know anything else as far as how to get you there outside of telling you. Go to jaguars.com. I was listening to a bit today that was sent to me by someone, and it involved Dr. Herbie, okay? And if Dr. Herbie is going to say something that is controversial, well, guess what? I'm going to unclog the ears. I'm here for it when Dr. Herbie speaks. So Kirk Herbstreit comes out today, and this is great when you see the clip, okay? He just rips L. Duncan. I don't even know who L. Duncan is because I don't watch ESPN. I don't watch SportsCenter. I don't watch any of that trash. ESPN has gone so downhill. Look what they did with Bobby Jenks over the weekend. The closer for the Chicago White Sox, whoever wrote that, probably an intern, went on to say that he was on the roster for the Chicago White Sox. I mean, how far has that product fallen? You know, it's really crazy. But Herbie goes on and really pumps himself out by saying, you know, people wouldn't take me seriously if they knew I rooted for a team. And we all remember the video of Dr. Herbie jumping all over Eddie George on the sideline when Ohio State beat Miami back in the, Maurice Clarett days. What about 2 years ago when he jumped on top of Fowler and started riding Fowler around the broadcast booth, like a horse, because Bama on that fourth down in the Iron Bowl came from behind and beat Auburn. So anyway, Dr. Herbie said that, Pat McAfee can do it, so-and-so can do it, but those who report the news on SportsCenter shouldn't be allowed. Again, he threw L. Duncan under the bus. I don't know who she is. I only watch ESPN when games are on. So I started thinking about this a little bit. And believe it or not, I pay attention to what's going on in our world. I don't talk about politics for the obvious reason. If I say something, 50% of you are going to love it. 50% of you are going to hate it. There's no middle ground in politics, and it's filthy. You can get two totally different stories by listening to two totally separate stations. That should not be the way in sports, okay? Sports is supposed to be a diversion. Yeah, it's important. Obviously, it's important. But there's supposed to be some fun involved. And, years and years ago, here in the world of sports talk radio, they said, I know, let's have two in a room. Let's have three in a room. I think the feeling decades ago was, let's get them to go against each other. Let's have a little war, during that particular show. We'll get one guy to say one thing and the other guy will disagree. I got news for you. It doesn't work that way. Okay, you can't force someone to disagree on a subject just to try to make the show more entertaining. Okay, your name is on your opinion. That is your reputation. Of course you are going to agree. You may agree a heck of a lot more than you disagree. Now, we've seen massive sellouts. Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, Pat McAfee. I don't blame them. If someone offered me that coin, it would be pretty difficult to say no. Okay, so selling out is awful. Selling out sounds awful. But if you were handed that amount of cash, again, I think it would be very difficult. And it was like a week or so ago. It might have been 2 weeks ago. All right. And I'm just doing my research, and all of a sudden I see Kendrick Perkins, who I really admired when he played with Ray Allen, and he played with The Truth, Paul Pierce, and he played with Kevin Garnett, and all of that stuff. And he's calling out Bill Simmons. And it feels like he wants to fight Bill Simmons. And I'm just sitting here saying to myself, really? Is this where we are? And I get it. Journalism's gone. It doesn't mean that objectivity is gone. That still is around, even for homers, okay? I absolutely believe that objectivity is, in my opinion, my definition of objectivity is looking at a game, looking at a team, looking at a situation, and giving it your honest opinion. You could still be a fan of the team, right? So journalism's absolutely gone. But I look at Kendrick Perkins and Bill Simmons, and then all of a sudden I see video of Stephen A. Smith during Game 4 of the NBA Finals playing video solitaire. He makes $20 million a year. Stephen A. Smith is ridiculously uninformed. He makes hot take after hot take after hot take, and there are millions who sit by what he has to say. He's paid handsomely. He's the best at what he does. Yet he's caught courtside while Game 4 of the NBA Finals is going on, playing solitaire. That's what you got. And he makes it personal. He calls out Tyrese Halliburton, makes it all about him, right? All about him and a player. Are you kidding me? It should be player and a player. Maybe to some extent media on media, but even that, I mean, come on. We have a job for one reason, to cover the players, to cover the teams. Look at Pat McAfee. He's getting into it with John Cougar Mellencamp. He's getting into it with Ben Stiller. You know, he got all over Lord Favre. I don't think Lord Favre has made he's barely breathed since he got crushed by Pat McAfee. So I really gave it some thought today. And everything changes. But where are you as sports fans? Do you like this? Do you like the media doing more than call? We all call out players. Listen, I set up for the last 3 years that Trent Baalke should be fired. Doug Peterson should be fired. I mean, I'm not saying you can't call out a player. Or say that a player or a coach or whatever it should be should no longer be on the team. That's part of the job. But when you make it about yourself, when you create so much attention that a player reacts, that someone else in the media reacts, and all of a sudden you're throwing verbal blows, maybe that's what the younger generation wants. Maybe that's what the younger demographic wants. But possibly that's why Barstool is so popular for that age group. And I'm not saying I'm right here with my opinion. What I'm asking is this what you want? Instead of looking at the X's and the O's and how to win a game and how to change a roster to become a winning team, you want Stephen A. Smith calling out Tyrese Halliburton. You want whoever it may be, Bill Simmons forever. I mean, not Bill Simmons, but Skip Bayless forever. I mean, he made a fortune by doing what? Calling out the king. Calling out LeBron James. We're not equal to those who play the game. We're not even close. And I understand that this is an entity as well. This is a profession as well. The way you're going to make the most money is to build yourself up. The best way to build yourself up is to be controversial. The best way to build yourself out is to go right after people and pray that they respond. But I think you have to draw the line somewhere. I think media on media feuds are boring. They really are. And people will still come up to me and say, oh, Jason Locken for it. Bro, that died in my mind. When he hung up the phone, it was over. The only reason why they got legs is because other people kept asking me about it. He ended up losing his job, television job. I felt bad for him. I don't want to see anyone lose their job. This is a tough business. But media on media, I think is for the weak. Do you disagree? Did you love Bayless against Max Kellerman? Did you love Bayless or Stephen A. Smith against Max Kellerman, or Stephen A. Smith against Skip Bayless, knowing that one of them was going to take the other side, even if they didn't believe what they were saying, to make a point to improve the program? It's the ultimate sellout. Just interested. I mean, this stuff's not going to happen here locally in Jacksonville. I'm talking about more on the national stage. I still think there should be some respect to seeing the game, analyzing the game, and then reporting on the game, right? The players, the coaches, who got it right, who got it wrong. If they deserve a pay raise, you say it. If they deserve to be fired, say it. But the personal stuff, where did that really come from? Amazed by it and really saddened by it. And of all the people to try to, as I just did, lecture, of all the people out there who are trying to lecture you on what is right and what is wrong, Kirk Herbstreit is the one who was outspoken. Kirk Herbstreit is the biggest fraud, in my opinion, of everything that is college football. Okay? No doubt. Just look at his antics the last couple of years. Look at his lack of professionalism the last couple of years. I'm interested in hearing from you on this tonight. Honestly, I am, because you got to be a chameleon in the business. You got to be willing to change on the fly. And I've learned ups and downs. I remember the days of the shock jock. I remember all that stuff that I used to do on the ball in the 90s. I look back at that now, and it's not embarrassing, but it's pretty close. But still, there was never a media on media or media on player where you were trying to actually put yourself in the ring. You can't be. Without them, you're nothing, okay? They're the people who make the news. You analyze it, not make yourself part of it. And we're seeing more and more of that with superstars in the media. Maybe you think I'm jealous. That's fine. I'm never going to shy away from your comments. At my age, I can tell you honestly, I'm not jealous. I just don't understand where we've gone. But again, maybe some of you out there, maybe many of you out there, especially those who are younger, actually think it's pretty cool. And that it's only going to get worse when it's all said and done. Wait till the Travis Hunter stuff gets underway. I mean, we had Travis Kelce come out and say the way to beat him is to throw deep ball after deep ball after deep ball, to wear him down, tire him out, make him miserable. Today, I think it was Eric Mangini. Remember the former defensive coordinator with the New England Patriots? He, like just about every defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator with the New England Patriots, failed as a head coach. But he went on to say that that's stupid. You think you're really going to go up to your star wide receiver and say, just run a go route, become a decoy? You know, wide receivers are divas. There's no way they're going to sign up to that. So that was Kelce's opinion. Last week, former offensive tackle Willie Colon was like, he's going right after him. He's got a big X on that number 12. This guy thinks he can play both ways. We're going to get that every week, okay? And it's one thing if a member of the media says it, right? Not necessarily local media, but the ESPN types, the national types, the former players. I think they're going to be very outspoken on this. It's going to be very intriguing to me to see on a week-to-week basis if anything comes out of the opponent's locker room. I would think for the most part that they're smarter than that they're going to publicly say what you are expected to say. Privately, it's going to be a totally different situation. But, hey, whether you're ready for it or not, you're going to get much more media coverage. You're going to get much more exposure because of Travis Hunter. And, again, just kind of interested in what you think and how the people out there are going to react. Okay, best way to join us. Text line, 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also, YouTube. Let's welcome in those watching tonight. You can get us by going to 1010XL into the night. Opening comments brought to you by Shmunez Vision. It's a good thing I can see. In a way, I almost wish I couldn't hear some of the nonsense that is coming out of the national media, particularly those bozos at ESPN. But the site is wonderful. It's 2020. And I want to thank Dr. Neil Shmunez again. It's been a long time coming, but I say it all the time because it's true. I went in for a normal checkup 9 years ago. He said, brother, you need surgery and you need it now. Very next morning, I went under. He removed something that was cancerous in my right eye. Every time I visit, no problems. That's a comfortable feeling. How are your eyes? Why do you keep delaying an appointment? Why? Make one today. Go to the best around, Shmunez Vision. Check them out online. You can also grab all of their testimonials from the very happy customers like myself on Instagram at Shmunez Vision. Remember, those who perform surgery, Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. John Hunt, they're going to sit with you and answer each and every one of your questions before, in fact, it does take place. All right, we're jam-packed today. Let's get Dylan Denmark's opinion on this. He's a younger dude. We'll do that on the other side. I got some good news for Jaguar fans. I am just ecstatic by this, and that's not hyperbole. I mean, this is straight truth. Okay, Pro Football Focus has done what? This Pro Football Focus never, ever has anything positive to say about the Jaguars until this that did come out. So we got much more to do as well. We're going to be jam-packed right here on this Tuesday edition. He's Dylan Denmark. I'm Rick Ballou. We call this Into the Night.
Center, Brad Meester. Big shout-out to everybody in Duval.
I'm Brad Meester on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hacker here, and with 4th of July in the rearview mirror now, all eyes are pointing towards Labor Day and football season. How would you like to drop some weight prior to football season's arrival? Well, Awaken 180 Weight Loss is your answer. Back in February of 2024, I weighed 317 pounds. In just a couple of short weeks, I was down almost 40 pounds thanks to the great folks of Awaken 180 Weight Loss. It's that quick. The coaching you get, the information you get, it's all perfect with Awaken 180 Weight Loss, and they can change your life very, very quickly. If it's time for you to lose weight like it was for me, do yourself a favor and go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com, or call 844-346-1800. Take it from me, a guy that failed in numerous diet programs over the years. I succeeded with Awaken 180 Weight Loss. If I can do it, you can do it. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save 15% on roof replacements and repairs now through July 31st. And financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com. Hey, it's Joe C. When was the last time you flushed out your water heater? Flushing a water heater each year improves its efficiency and extends its lifespan. So call Roland Reese Plumbing for a routine water heater flush out and any other plumbing needs. 260-7059. Roland Reese Plumbing.
When it comes to towing products, your safety is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
The Combine, free agency, the draft.
We're professionals. We have a job to do, a season to plan.
Follow the road to the regular season with AA Automotive on Richard Street. Family run since 1954 and 1010XL.
Got a cracked windshield? Not only is it dangerous, but did you know it's also illegal? Call Baker Glass. Mack and his crew use the best auto glass in the market, and they accept most insurance. Plus, all new windshields come with a full warranty. From cars, to trucks, to RVs, you can count on Baker Glass to be fast and friendly. Just check out their Google reviews. Come see us at the shop on Cassa Avenue, or we can come to you at your home or business.
I'm back with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Fences come in all shapes and sizes. It's not just as simple as build me a fence. That's where Duval Fence steps in. They've got it all, from vinyl and aluminum to chain link and quality wood fencing. Duval Fence has been part of Jacksonville since the 70s, and their work stands up to the test of time. Companies come and go, but serving the community as a valued business partner means something to Duval Fence. Residential, commercial, large industrial projects. Check out DuvalFence.com for the local original fence company.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or two half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
1010XL is a proud supporter of this year's Circle K Greater Jacksonville Kingfish Tournament, the largest fundraiser for marine charities. To join the fun July 10th through 19th at the Jim King Park and Boat Ramp, go to kingfishtournament.com.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Hey Jacksonville, need a fence and ready to save? At Superior Fence and Rail, you'll lock in 5% off your fence project when you sign by the end of July. A limited time offer for savings and peace of mind this summer. Now accepting appointments for a free estimate. So act fast and get 5% off your entire fence project when you finalize by July 31st. Cannot be combined with other offers. New contracts only.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com. 1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Tip of the cap to the blue-collar workers out there. It is hot. Hydration. Water. You can use my hose any day. And if I catch you, I'll give you an ice cold bottled water. Walked out of my office today, the GF's like, what is that? Is that coffee or is that water? I'm like, I never spill coffee. It's water. I can't get those damn things open without spilling at least an ounce and a half. Need to fix that problem as well. All right, tonight's show brought to you by the good folks over at Alexander Law and the Alexander Law Practice. I am totally sincere when I say this. I hope you never have to use them because I don't want to see you get injured. But the bottom line is more and more and more people are getting injured in vehicles because of careless driving on the other side, right? And if it happens, you're stuck. Your car doesn't work. You can't afford to get it fixed. You're not going to it. No matter what it may be, you're never going to come out of pocket at Alexander Law Practice. So pick up the phone and let them know what's going on. 400-6600. You can get an immediate call back. You're going to get individualized attention. And questions that you have where you think you're alone, you're not. You're going to be supported by Alexander Law Practice. Rick Alexander, more than 30 years, he has done this. And he's been highly rated as well. Talk about that quite a bit. The 2004 AV rating by Martindale-Hubbell. Okay, it's the gold standard for any lawyer in any practice. And it comes from the peer review rating. So less than 10% of lawyers actually receive that. So, again, if it's happened to you and you're injured or a family member has been injured or a friend has been injured, take down Alexander Law Practice or take down the number for a free consultation, 400-6600. Dylan Denmark is younger than Rick Ballou. That is a fact. Do you like today's media challenging players, getting reaction from players, battling with players, or other, let's call it, elite members of the media?
No, I don't care to see any of it. I'm pretty immune to it now. I feel like that's just the norm. But yeah, I don't care for any of it. And most people my age in their mid-20s, they don't even watch TV. They'll see that stuff. They'll see that piece of content like on a minute clip on TikTok or Instagram or Twitter. And I feel like that's where they get a lot of their popularity from now, instead of, back in the day of watching it actually on ESPN or ESPN2 and actually, driving the ratings on the show during the live time. I think it's more of, getting people talked about in the comments and getting it shared and people reacting to it like this on social media as compared to, what it used to be was, driving content for the show. And if you disagreed, we have a verbal disagreement, but it would be for the show, not so much for social media. I think that's what it's more for now.
If you look at, Hot Take Nation, Skip Bayless, number one, total sellout, right? Pat McAfee, don't watch, don't know. I like Stephen A. Smith. He is on that list, but I want to believe that most of what Stephen A. Smith does is genuine. Now, here's the problem. He's asked to do too much. There are situations, sports-related, where he should sit that one out, right? But when you see a guy who means so much to all of these viewers playing video solitaire during Game 4 of the NBA, does that even affect you, or don't you care? You can, hey, I'm watching a show at night, I'm watching a game at night, I'm on my phone, I can multitask, I can do two things at once. Maybe it has no effect on you. I don't know, but that does bother me a little bit. All right, 2562. I look forward to the Shmunez plugs each and every night now, always out of nowhere. Well, they're at the beginning part of the program, and let me tell you something. I've heard this, and it's true from the 2562. There's a drinking game out there whenever I mention Shmunez Vision. And I guess the biggest belt goes down is when I do reference Dr. Catherine Shmunez. So, anyway. Just thought I would share that with you. The 0020. Ballou, how about you and that former employee? That was pretty good. Actually, it was awful. And what happened was it did occur live on radio. And guess what? It went away in minutes, didn't it? I've never spoke on it. I got moved here to nights. I was disciplined for it. And look what's happened ever since. It's like the greatest move that I ever could have made. I couldn't be any happier doing things right here on 92.5 FM at night. All right, there's so many coming in here. Ballou, all right, 0976. I use can't wait sarcastically all the time. It's great for that. Okay. My favorite saying is I can wait. Because I can. I don't like to give up minutes and hours and certainly days. But it's, I think it's a battle for so many of you. And, I used to, you constantly change. Back to that whole media situation. There was a time in my life, and I'm telling you, not to save myself, I'm being honest, as I always am. There was a time when I was at the Ball that I used to be personally humiliated and bothered that there were members of the media that would go to Jaguars off-season camp, training camp, whatever, and it was basically for them, check the box. Show up very late to get an interview, not pay attention to actually what is happening during practice. It bothered me. It did. And at that, but that particular time, I was tremendously underpaid, right? And I was a type A, just, trying to do whatever I could to take that next step. I could care less about that now. I mean, what a waste of time. Who cares if he or she shows up late? Who cares if he or she just shows up to, check the box if they really do not know what's going on as far as personnel or scheme? That's the way I am now. but that's not the way I was years ago. That whole can't wait. I'm trying to do my best with that as well. I used to get really bothered by the contact of, May, June, July. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for Jaguars practice. And I'd be like, for crying out loud, find yourself a freaking girlfriend. Take her to a movie. How about dinner? Go play some golf. Go to the beach. Read a book. I mean, people willing to give up, not days, but weeks and months, just give them up to get to football season. I was never able, but nowadays, outside of that, as an example, I don't even talk about it anymore. Again, it's a do you. If that's what you want, then all the power to you. I honestly feel that way. Okay, let's do this on the other side of the break. Let's get the Pro Football Focus and the Jaguars. Some pretty good stuff in today on defensive backs. Pleasantly surprised because I still think it's a major what if. Got a little bit of an understanding as to what we believe Anthony Campanelli is going to do with his secondary, right? I think my opinion and what we have heard them say is it's going to be, for the most part, zone coverage. It is going to be a secondary that absolutely wants to be safe, right? And that's what James Gladstone kept on saying. Caleb Branshaw, his open field tackling, he pointed that out. Also, really got into it, did Gladstone, when talking about Eric Murray, who comes aboard, about putting the safe in safety. So I think that's a big part of it. I also think that we're going to, they're going to want them to really have eyes on quarterback. And does that mean they're going to gamble a little bit? I don't know. But if you look at everything that this secondary did a year ago, and granted, there was no interior pass rush, to only have 8 defensive takeaways is a totally complete disaster, okay? I mean, a foregone absolute disaster. How you can only have 8 takeaways, one with the special teams for number 9. I mean, that is an embarrassment to your profession. And that's why they made all these changes. They went out and brought a couple of free agents. They got Ransaw pretty early. So we'll come back and we'll talk about this a little bit. And hopefully with the eyes on the quarterback, you're able to generate takeaways. Deshae Townsend generated takeaways. Mike Caldwell generated takeaways. Last year? Wow. I mean, so again, when I can only imagine them looking at tape and saying, what in the hell did this football team do a year ago? And, you can only hope for the better. So anyway, we'll hit that on the other side. It's good to have you with us. He's still in Denmark. I'm Rick Ballou. We call it Into the Night.
Tom McManus straps on the helmet and joins Lauren Brooks and Taylor Dahl for the new Helmets and Heels. New attitude, new time. Afternoons 2 to 4 on 1010XL. Tommy Mack makes his Helmets and Heels debut July 14th.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnik Buick GMC is proud to be the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnik's Treating You Right guarantee. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer. Nobody but Nimnik. For 3 generations, Nimnik has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right, and they give a bunch back to the community. Visit NimnikBuickGMC.com today to learn more or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
They were right. It could have waited. I can't believe it happened to me. Reaching to check my phone. Now my family has to hear that I'm never coming home again.
Officer?
I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
Every day, 9 people on Florida roadways don't make it home. I was one of the people that didn't make it home.
Ride with Do Not Disturb. Every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to divorcemenonly.com. Divorcemenonly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. Hurricanes happen in Florida. That's not news. But what happens even more often than hurricanes are home break-ins. And if security is important to you, you might want to look into hurricane-rated impact windows.
What you may not know is that hurricane-rated impact windows not only help protect your home in case of a hurricane, but they also offer another level of security for your home.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube that show people trying to break through an impact window? A thief is way too lazy to spend his energy trying to break through one of our impact windows. That's why he doesn't have a real job like you. He'd rather break your non-impact window while you're at work. Window World has high-quality, very affordable hurricane-rated impact windows to help protect your home from hurricanes and from lazy thieves.
Call us today at 904-443-7001. Get a free estimate and see for yourself. You save energy, get more security, and the windows add value to your home. With all Window World windows, you get the best guarantee in the window replacement business. Window World, simply the best for less.
And thank you for your business.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 8, 1982, Yankees manager Billy Martin gets his 1,000th career win.
Your home is more than walls and a roof. It's where you breathe, drink, and power through life. At Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to keep it all running smoothly. From clean, cool air to clean water, reliable power to expert plumbing, we do it all. For over 35 years, families have trusted Donovan to make their homes healthier, safer, and more comfortable. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing today, 904-270-COOL, where health meets home.
Are your kids ready to play this summer? Come check out The Y. Summer is a time for kids to explore new things and expand the limits of their imagination. At The Y, summer camps every day is a new adventure. Kids can learn about STEM, arts and humanities, athletic sports, outdoor games, and more. Registration is now open, but space is limited, and spots are filling up quickly. Learn more and find your adventure at fcymca.org. Search Summer Day Camp.
One of Beard's Diamond's most popular events ever is back. It's Christmas in July. Right now, for a limited time, you get as much as 40% off anything in our showcases. Yes, that includes engagement rings, fashion rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, pendants, colored gemstones. This is the annual store-wide sale that everyone loves, because you get December prices in July. Up to 40% off store-wide. Don't miss Christmas in July. Exclusively at Beard's Diamond at the St. John's Town Center and online at beardsdiamonds.com. Shop local. Shop Beards.
This is Mark Nato. My sons and I have seen the doctors and PAs at Southeast Ortho for everything from lumbar spine stress to elbow tendonitis. Southeast has always been there, been truthful, and always been on point. Everything they say happens. We can't thank them enough for what they've done and the great care that they have taken of our sons.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Get ready. The Jacksonville Rock Orchestra brings to life the magic of Fleetwood Mac. Like you've never heard it before. A 27-piece symphony fused with a full rock band, performing timeless hits like Rhiannon, Dreams, and You Make Loving Fun. One night only, July 11th at the historic Florida Theater. Get tickets today at floridatheater.com.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, once again, sad news over the weekend. It seems like can't go a week without talking about the loss of someone who meant a lot to so many of us. In this case, this is a little bit more regional, but Lyndon Byers passed on July 4th. Former Boston Bruins henchman, played 9 years in Boston. What I loved about him is he was born in Massachusetts, born in Norwood, and he was an effort guy. You know, he was a fourth liner. Every once in a while, an opportunity to play on the third line, but he was there to protect the Stars, and he fought. His career ended in San Jose. He then went on and he was on a classic rock station that I grew up with called WAAF, which was just sensational as a kid. But apparently I was in school during it, but they did bits. Or I was out down here in the South during it. They did bits where they did some sports, and Byers was there for more than 20 years. To me, he's probably right there at number 5 for my favorite all-time Boston Bruins fighters. And that's saying a lot. Okay? That's the amount of respect I have for him. I'm not saying the best. I'm saying my favorite. You know, my all-time favorite is Terry O'Reilly. The guy was an absolute maniac, and he was an Irishman in Boston. I mean, they just absolutely rolled out the red carpet for him. Then you have Stan Jonathan, who was Indian. He was like 5'6", and he beat the living tar out of people. I love Derek Sanderson. We used to have him on the show all the time. I hope Derek's doing okay. I haven't had him on recently. But back in the Bobby Orr and the Big Bad Bruins days, absolutely marveled over Derek Sanderson. Love Jay Miller. Jay Miller took them all on. And, he'd be right there with me with Sean Thornton, who was a good fighter as well for Boston. But I hate this. Only 61 years of age. That's just too quick. So we had Michael Madsen last week at 67, which I hated. One of my favorite character actors. And now it's Lyndon Byers, one of my favorite fighters with the Boston Bruins. Yes, kids, there was actually a day when they fought in the NHL. Pro Football Focus. This was great. This was actually an article that I really enjoyed reading involved with the Jaguars. Out of 32 teams, I mean, yesterday we talked about the offensive line that came in at number 26. Yesterday we talked about running backs that came in at number 26. You go through positional groups, you go through whatever, and Jacksonville just doesn't rank high. And it's understandable after the disaster that was the 2024 season. But Pro Football Focus put them in at number 13. And if they can hit that, which, is better than half the league, quite a few of these L's are going to end up being W's. The writer here, John Costco, points out that they added a very good football player and slot cornerback, Jordan Lewis. I remember this signing. I remember my initial reaction. It was like, what? Why are they signing Jordan Lewis? You've got Jarian Jones going into year 2 as a slot corner. Well, we found out later that Jarian Jones asked this new administration to move outside and be a corner. And we know the book on Jarian Jones. He's never played zone before. Didn't do so at Florida State and certainly did not do so last year with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So Jordan Lewis comes in as a starting slot, right? I think some out there wonder, could Lewis still be the other corner on the other side of Tyson Campbell when they are in base defense? And then once they go to nickel, you bring in another corner, whether it's Jarian Jones or whether it's, Buster Brown had a heck of a run here without pads on. Monteric Brown really performed. I think my guess would be that if they were to walk out a base defense on Sunday, you would see Brown right now on the other side of Campbell. I don't know that. Okay, I'm just guessing out loud here, but something Jordan could start there, Jordan Lewis, and then move into the slot once they go to nickel. Eric Murray obviously is the only guarantee right now at safety, and Tyson Campbell is coming off all of the injuries that he had a year ago. It's time. We keep discussing so many guys. All right, beginning with Trevor. And then you get to the offensive line. And then you get to how people are down on Travis Etienne. And then you get to the expectations now of Brenton Strange. I've read several articles where they're saying, these players really need to step up in year 2, right? Or this year. And Mason Smith is all over the place, as he should be. He's got first-round talent. And Eric Armstead was on a milk carton a year ago. But it's all of these players. And I honestly, I don't see Tyson Campbell. Tyson Campbell got paid. He got the most money ever for a defensive back who has not made the Pro Bowl. He's got to live up to those expectations. And, frankly, I'd love to see Caleb Branshaw win that other safety job. I want to be able to hold on to him for 4 years. That's what they did with Andre Sisco. Didn't work for Sisco at the end. And I think he fell out of favor with the coaching staff. He said that the team quit. He put on too much weight. He had all of that going against him. I think he still got $10 million to play for the New York Jets. So, there's going to be good competition here. Second cornerback spot. Is it going to be Lewis until you go to nickel? Is it going to be Buster Brown? Is it going to be Jarian Jones? That in itself is going to be pretty cool, in my particular opinion. I thought last year, in my opinion, that Christian Braswell had one of the best camps that anyone had in the secondary, and he was cut. He was brought back as a practice squad player. Trent Baalke, Doug Peterson, Ryan Nielsen, they said no, but he's still around. We'll see. Safety. I mean, there's a lot of bodies there. I don't know what they're going to do. Darnell Savage, disappointment a year ago, not 100%. Does he become the guy next to Eric Murray? Every year I find myself, or I should say the first 2 years, I find myself being so positive about Antonio Johnson. Maybe this defensive scheme will be better suited for him. Obviously, he's physical. It just feels like at times he doesn't trust his instincts and is out of position. You've got Andrew Wingard, who's still here. Daniel Thomas is a guy that, to me, is a 4-core special teamer, period. Can he afford to take up that safety position? Or do they go to a guy like Ray Lane? And do they go to Dewey and say, all right, you're 4-core special team guys. We can rely on you more if you have to get that far through the depth chart, where Daniel Thomas, doesn't provide, in my opinion, anything as a safety. Again, he's very good as a special teamer. So we'll see. They've already lost one gunner. Tim Jones is gone. So I don't know if they'll do that here with Thomas. Ray Lane did play a great deal of gunner at Navy. And, we'll see that once camp opens up. Really got no indication of that during the 16 OTAs and mandatory minicamp. Okay, we got much more to do. Hour number 2 is coming up. I'm going to bring in my buddy Niall Lawrence Stample. Big nutter in the middle, won a national title in Tallahassee. My goodness, what in the heck is going on in God's country right now? I just can't figure it out. I mean, Norvell's getting these recruits, right? But every Florida State fan's like, can you sign already? Well, the answer to that question is no. You got to wait until December. And the pressure with the new staff, including Gus Malzahn, taking over as the play caller, the stupid comments by quarterback Thomas Castellanos. We'll do that coming up with former Florida State Seminole Niall Lawrence Stample.
Nothing's happening.
Be patient.
I don't know. It's not responding.
Wait for it.
1010XL. 1010XL. See? There you go.
Mike Dempsey, and now's the time to get your roof hurricane ready with Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacks Beach. Look, our rainy season is no joke, and if your roof's got damage, leaks, or it's just plain worn out, don't wait. Apex is local, dependable, and will show up on time using only premium materials with ironclad warranties. No shortcuts, no stress, just quality work you can trust. Skip the storm season scramble. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacks Beach or visit apexroofingfl.com.
Summertime is busy with graduation parties, summer barbecues, festivities, family gatherings. The month of July, National Carpet Cleaning Month. So Zero Res is offering $45 per room of carpet clean and 20% off air duct cleaning services as well. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResJacksonville.com or call them 287-5727 and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spelled backwards or forwards, it spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res.
Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars. Make them your AC partner. With honest cost estimates before they start the work with no hidden fees. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. With the weather now hot as can be, look ahead and get that backyard ready for fall with a new open air or screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are the best in the business. So if you have the space and the idea, give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, a Jacksonville family business for nearly 70 years. Heck, I've been talking about them for over a decade. The Thompson family secret, Dandy is never frozen. Always fresh baked bread with quality meats and cheeses. No dry, crumbly subs here. Only soft and tasty deliciousness. When I see that logo with the little guy with the cane on the label, it tells me I'm getting a trusted brand and a quality sandwich. So do what I do. Stop in at a Circle K and make yours a Dandy today.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Fence problems? The old one falling apart and leaning over? Well, if it's time for a new one, call Duval Fence today at 260-4747 for a quality job. Restore the look and privacy you expect. Trust the experts. DuvalFence.com.
Hacker here, and with 4th of July in the rearview mirror now, all eyes are pointing towards Labor Day and football season. How would you like to drop some weight prior to football season's arrival? Well, Awaken 180 Weight Loss is your answer. Back in February of 2024, I weighed 317 pounds. In just a couple of short weeks, I was down almost 40 pounds thanks to the great folks of Awaken 180 Weight Loss. It's that quick. The coaching you get, the information you get, it's all perfect with Awaken 180 Weight Loss, and they can change your life very, very quickly. If it's time for you to lose weight like it was for me, do yourself a favor and go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com, or call 844-346-1800. Take it from me, a guy that failed in numerous diet programs over the years. I succeeded with Awaken 180 Weight Loss. If I can do it, you can do it. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Need cash? Beaches Jewelry and Pawn has cash, and they're ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. And gold market prices are at a record high. Get cash on the spot at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach.
Maxed out on credit cards? Struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
Did you know that for every inch of rain on a 2,000 square foot roof, 1,500 gallons come off the eaves of the roof? Call Clearwater Seamless Gutters and Drainage, and we'll design a plan using our Clearwater Seamless Gutters, and we'll connect those gutters to a Clearwater drainage system to solve your erosion and standing water issues.
Clearwater Seamless Gutters. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at gutters.
And drainage, too.
SeamlessGuttersJacksonville.com.
Brendan here with Checkmate Coating. No massive overhead means top prices on top quality pool decks, driveways, garages, and patios too.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, busy week around here. I will do it tonight, tomorrow night, Thursday and Friday, then bounce out for a week, and then that is it. I will be back. Jaguars training camp will start, and I will not miss a day until after the Super Bowl. Let's bring in my buddy Niall Lawrence Stample. Of course, he won a national title with Florida State, also played defensive tackle for the Cleveland Browns, and he joins Rick Ballou on Into the Night. It's been a couple of minutes. Good to see you. How you doing?
Yeah, good seeing you too. It has been a while, but I'm happy to be back in the booth talking with you, man.
Yeah, 2-10. We talked all last year. Just a disaster for Florida State. We had a conversation a year ago about winning, 18, 19 consecutive games, getting blown out by Georgia, and then not allowing that to linger. Was that the primary reason for a 2-10, or do you think it was a lot of other things that occurred as well?
I can't even count the amount of reasons on why I feel like we ended up with the result that we got. It's hard to even discuss in one conversation, but I think it was overlooked. I think every single person overlooked it, and it sucks because Norvell is our leader, and I think that he overlooked it the most. He just kind of counted on everyone's individual coaches and everyone's players and everyone's kind of situation to be as good as it was last year, and it wasn't. And I don't think those checks and balances got checked correctly, and we got blown out.
Yeah, it's the worst season that Florida State has ever had. It was totally, unexpected. Now you got to respond. And, they've made household changes, coaching changes, personnel changes, transfer portal once again, a better effort in recruiting. Certainly, what he's doing right now, which is non-binding until they sign off to a really good start. But, more than 50% of the roster has changed at Florida State.
Yeah, so much of it. And it's crazy because, I haven't been really kind of on social media or certain things, but I'm always kind of in tune on what's going on. Right. And it has been a kind of a transfer of ethics, a transfer of what's going on behind the scenes. It's been everything to try to figure out what happened, how to fix it. Is it personnel? Is it designed? Is it back in the back end of everything? And I think we're going to see a completely different team this year. Whether that is good or bad, I think we see a completely different team because Norvell had to kind of start from scratch.
Yeah, and I think it's desperation for Mike Norvell. I tell you now, the biggest concern I have, it's year 6, and I honestly, objectively, do not know if he can coach. I'm not trying to be smart here. I mean, I know he won, 19 in a row, but and you can go back to Jacksonville State, not playing prevent defense. There's been a lot of mistakes, in-game mistakes. I hate to say that about a Florida State coach getting ready for his 6th year. I don't know if he can coach.
Winning in college football is extremely difficult, and it is harder than really people think, right? And it's hard to say that Norvell doesn't have the aptitude to coach on a high level just because of what he's been able to do. And I do agree. Watching those games last year were frustrating because you saw some things during the game that you wish was a simple adjustment. At least sitting on the couch would be a simple adjustment in order to fix. But not everything looks as black and white, obviously, as you know. But I think Norvell has the aptitude in order to coach on a very high level. We've obviously seen it in the past. Personnel is obviously extremely important.
Yeah.
We are seeing a extreme change in college football. College football is completely different. It was only 10 years ago I was there, right? 9 years ago I was there, and it is a completely different ball game. Like, it is night and day. So with that being the case, with all the changes and everything, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I know that coming up into this season, if we're seeing some of those still those mid-game issues that aren't being resolved, those things are going to unfortunately play a factor in his longevity of the team.
Now, Lawrence Stample, our guest, former Florida State Seminole, business owner right here now in Jacksonville, now won a national title at FSU, also played professional football for the Cleveland Browns. So you bring in a new offensive coordinator, you bring in a new defensive coordinator. At least he is not being stubborn here. I think the change was forced. Now he can hopefully oversee everything that's going on. But Gus Malzahn is now going to be the play caller offensively.
Yeah, which I think is amazing. I personally love the fact that we're going to have a different play caller, Gus Malzahn, which has proven to have success in college football. And he's had it on a bunch of different places and a bunch of different levels. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. Obviously, they've coached together in the past as well. So that's great. But I think we have a few pieces to the puzzle in place for Gus. Obviously, injury could plague that. But I think Gus being the play caller is going to have a big role to play, but I think it needed to be separated. And I think right now we're in a better spot than we were last year.
All right, Thomas Castellanos takes over as the starting quarterback for Florida State. Really dropped the bomb on Seminole Nation with his comments, calling out Alabama. I'm shocked. You're 2-10. And by the way, Bama's wounded. They were 9-4. They're upset with a 9-4 in Tuscaloosa. As a former player, what did you make of what Thomas Castellanos said?
I'm super torn. I'm torn on it because one thing is I always tell my boys, we got to keep the main thing, right? We don't want distractions. And when we start to do things that are distracting from keeping us playing ball, keeping that team kind of percolating and all the things that need to in order for us to come ready on that Saturday, it's tough. You don't want to see it, right? But at the same time, this is a gladiator sport that we're playing, right? Put up or shut up. Like, if that's how you feel, go ahead and speak it. But we better come ready to play. And the people around you and the teammate and the tribe around you are going to have to respond. But at the end of the day, there's better ways to go about it. But this is a big boy sport.
When you were there, Jameis Winston was there, very controversial, said some things, but backed it up with play. Won a Heisman Trophy, won a national championship. The resume on Tommy Castellanos is that he got benched and he quit, walked away from BC with the season still going, has this relationship with Gus Malzahn. Florida State pays him. Then he comes out and makes this comment. If you were a devoted Florida State Seminole, which you were, and didn't go to the transfer portal, sat through at 2-10, was getting ready for this year, and this incoming quarterback made that comment, as a player right now, how would you handle that?
Again, I would have to look at, one, how things are going as far as training camp and how things are going as far as like any just off-season play in general. And we have to have that same energy, right? We have to have that same energy, being a leader, being vocal, doing all the little things. And from what I hear, that seems like it's the case. But I'm going to look at it and say, okay, if that's the case, then we better be ready to play.
Yeah,
like we better be ready to play. As a team, you're going to stick by your teammate, even though with the Jameses and all the different things that would happen, there was no time that anyone ever wavered. Right? We always support whatever's going on. Damn, that was stupid, but I love you. Like, we got to get through this. Now let's push forward and figure out how we can do that. And I think all he did was add fuel to the fire, and hopefully we're able to continue that confidence that he has.
Thought it was going to come out today. I don't know if it has. I haven't seen it, but listing who Mike Norvell is going to take with him to Charlotte. I think despite these comments, you got to bring Thomas Castellanos with you to these football meetings and have him, not say it was taken out of context, but maybe be a little bit more thorough in his explanation and try to dumb this down just a little bit. It may be hard to do. The other side would be, okay, no, he's not going with us for these football meetings. And then, the assumption may be that he's in the in the doghouse. But I think you have to be proactive here. Put him in front of the media and have him explain why he made those comments.
Yeah, agreed. I think that's a great idea. I definitely don't hear anything that is giving me any inclinations that he is out of control, right? Or he doesn't have some sort of understanding of like what is at stake and that they can't control that. So I would be surprised if that's not something that does happen. But I think a lot of the times things get out of hand when one, social media is involved. Two, when you're coming to a team that you felt like you should have been at a long time ago, you didn't get the scholarship that you wanted, and now you're here, and now you're kind of floating on cloud nine with an opportunity to pull a team that has the floor is gone. Yeah. There's no floor. So what does it matter? Let's go for it. So I think that's what he's feeling.
We won't get into personnel because we don't have the time, but I'm just looking here at their roster. 7 out of the 11 transfer portal players right now are listed as starters offensively, and 6 out of the 11 are listed as starters defensively for Florida State. We had this conversation a year ago. Remember talking about Marvin Jones Jr. and everyone else. Now that you had another year to digest it, this has become more common in college football. Every team is now really getting after the transfer portal. But when I give you those numbers as far as starters, how do you react to that?
It sounds like it's foreign. It doesn't even make sense. The fact that that's the case, especially since we just had a similar year the year prior, right? We just got rid of a ton of starters, and now we are doing the same thing. It makes a little bit more sense when you think about the act of how we went from being undefeated and then everyone going to the draft, us losing, and then now we're rebooting and recalibrating everybody. So that does make sense there. But at the end of the day, it's a tough task. Us bringing in a brand new defensive coordinator and us bringing in a defensive line coach and just all those personnels it still does make sense. Everyone is working on a brand new system as far as personnel is concerned, as well as these players are working on a brand new system as well. I think we will see some growing pains in that across the country. Every single year we'll see it. It's going to be who is prepared the most and who can make adjustments the quickest, but it's no longer the tried and true. We have this freshman coming in and now they're a sophomore, now they're a junior and they know the system. They've learned the system. Every nuance in the system is all built out. It's all going to be who can work on the fly.
And Tony White, they think very highly of. He's been a nominee for a couple of seasons at Nebraska for the Broyles Award. And this new scheme, this new defense is going to be very intriguing at Florida State. How about your buddies? How about your former teammates, guys that you're associated with who wore the garnet and gold? Is this just a mirage? Do most believe that this thing will get righted? What is going on?
So I would say the most thing we talk about is going to be the fact that you just don't see stuff like this happen in college football. It's just it's eerie in a way that you can have a dynasty like a powerhouse team like Florida State crumble like this so quickly. It is just weird in general. But I think that Seminoles it's a tribe, right? Yeah. So like we talk about more good things than bad things, and everything that has been at least discussed by me and some of my former teammates that we talk a lot about is going to be what's happening this year. Is Norvell going to be able to prove himself in some capacity? And then the last thing is going to be, what is our offensive line going to look like, right? Like, even though a lot of us, the defensive linemen, what is our offensive line going to look like? I think our defensive line is going to look fairly solid. Okay. Our offensive line was supposed to be good last year, end up not being good. Our defensive line was not great last year. We were able to make some adjustments to where it somewhat held up. But, yeah, it's really going to be a toss-up as far as offensive line.
Between Florida State and the Jaguars and the offensive line, what a mystery. And we know 6 new bodies were brought in by James Gladstone, Tony Baselli, and Liam Cohen. But, you look at the offensive line, there's 4 new guys that are right now penciled in as starters. All 4 of them are redshirt seniors who played elsewhere. So we're talking about guys that are getting ready for their 5th year, do have experience, but again, we'll see how that all comes into play. Final moment with Niall Lawrence Stample, who, of course, played his college football at Florida State, won a national title there. They're off to a really good start verbally now with recruiting for 2026. I mean, this is by far the best that Norvell has done. We know that there's been signing day flips going all the way back to Travis Hunter. I mean, some really good football players that he has lost. So in my opinion, and the people I talk to, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, but let's wait till signing day. I'm not going to get overly excited because of what has happened. But just your overall thought on what he's been able to do. I mean, obviously, he's been pounding the pavement, and to this date, he's done a nice job.
Yeah, I want to say one of the biggest things that he got criticized for last year was recruiting. And it showed in the play that we just didn't have a lot, and we pulled from the portal, and it caused a lot of issues there. So I think Norvell has been able to kind of bounce back and prove that he can put together a good recruiting class and a good recruiting effort, and that's great to see. That's awesome to see. And when you have a strong class like that, one, I do think we'll be able to keep majority of our class. There's going to be some guys that aren't, but I think majority of the people that we want to keep, we will keep. I think we've been doing a good job at that, and I think the biggest thing that you see as far as the recruiting is when you have a strong recruiting class and you're able to keep, especially now that we've kind of had the transfers come in and had the offensive coordinator swap, and we're kind of at a concrete standstill, at least in going into the season with all of our coaching personnel, is you kind of see the players kind of buy in with each other as far as recruiting.
Yeah.
And the recruiting talks as far as recruits to recruits is one of the biggest recruiting aspects of it. If you can get some guys to kind of lock in and really buy in, other guys around that want to play with those guys will continue to make sure that the recruitment stays sound. And then also, a lot of guys want to come in and see Florida State back into a good light. What an upside for them to be able to come in and say, hey, we're a part of that class that was able to get Florida State back to where it needs to be, as well as everyone wants to get recruited by Florida State, no matter what, right? Yep. So, I think we're doing a great job. I think Norvell's doing a solid job.
Let's wrap with this, hypothetically speaking. You talk to Florida State fans, you talk to the experts. They'll tell you they're going to lose 4 games before the season starts. They tell you they're going to lose to Alabama, Florida, Miami, and at Clemson. All right, so that's an 8-4. But is this what it comes down to for Mike Norvell? Can they beat Pittsburgh? Can they go to Stanford and play at 10:30 at night, Niall? 10:30 at night. By the way, that's at Virginia. It's a Friday night game. Okay. Can you beat Wake Forest at home? Can you beat Vatech at home? Can you go to the snake pit of Raleigh, North Carolina, and win that game on a Friday? These are in order to save his job, I know my opinion is going to be if he loses those games, he's out. That's what it comes down to. Sure, an upset against one of those other 4 teams would be just incredible for the program. But what about being able to knock off these other teams, which they couldn't do a year ago?
Yeah, that's going to be tough, especially some of them, like you said, have their own obstacles outside of the team itself. And when you look at the schedule, I think, one, it starts really well. And I think this season is going to really be big. You talk about a momentum. You got to have momentum going into the season. I think they did a great job kind of crafting it out as far as the start of the season. I think playing Alabama first game overall is a great opportunity for us. A lot of people think differently. I think it is the absolute slam dunk for us. As long as we're prepared somewhat for that game, I think it will add momentum to the season. And then, we go into East Texas, and then we go into Kent State. I think those are obviously momentum games that we can build because we're really coming from nothing, right? Yeah. The floor is absolute gone. So if we can build any momentum there, I think the team and the locker room will really build. The confidence will build, and we'll see some guys start to emerge in which we wanted to see last year. But unfortunately, we got hit in the mouth before we even got out of bed.
Niall Lawrence Stample, how's business?
Business is great, man. We're cleaning. We're getting places ready to go. Especially during the summer months, the mold gets really bad on some of these buildings and these windows on people's storefronts. So we're doing a lot of that work. If you guys need any exterior washing on any of your buildings or any of your homes, we would love to come out and help and make sure that your guys' properties are in tip-top shape for your families or for your clients.
How do they get a hold of you?
Give us a call at 904-708-8802. Our company is NLS Cleaning. You can give us a look up on social media or on our website at nlscleaning.net.
NLS is Niall Lawrence Stample. Always good to see you.
Yes, sir. Good seeing you too, Rick.
There he goes, the former Seminole, and what a year it is going to be. I mean, you could write a script and basically anything you came up with, I think I could buy at this particular time. All right, we got much more to do. 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosure. You want to respond, Florida State fans, non-Florida State fans, any way that you want to go with our conversation, you can. You can also get us on Twitter. Go to Ballou 1010XL. And for those watching right now on YouTube, go to 1010XL into the Knights.
The home of the home team you grew up with.
Jimmy Smith was given a chance with an expansion team.
And what a quality person as well, a leader of this football team.
Jaguars pride forever. 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
The dog days of summer are here, and so are the hottest deals of the year. Whether you're hauling down the street, cruising on the beach, or just escaping the heat, we have the ride you're looking for and the wow you experience you deserve. Save big on select models with sizzling summer savings, low financing, and limited time bonus cash on all trades. So don't sweat it. Come beat the heat at Beaver Automotive, where the summer deals will wow you.
After our son's shoulder issues were worsening, we took him to see Dr. Snyder at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, who recommended PRP treatment. We trusted Dr. Snyder's evaluation and look forward to seeing him pitch again. For the right care, the best care, we highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Get ready. The Jacksonville Rock Orchestra brings to life the magic of Fleetwood Mac. Like you've never heard it before. A 27-piece symphony fused with a full rock band, performing timeless hits like Rhiannon, Dreams, and You Make Loving Fun. One night only, July 11th at the historic Florida Theater. Get tickets today at floridatheater.com.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 8, 1982, Yankees manager Billy Martin gets his 1,000th career win.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about letting things roll off of your back. So often we can make big deals out of things that are not really big deals. We can allow them to steal the joy of our day. But let me remind you that don't allow anyone or anything to steal the joy of today. Go out today not letting little things steal the big things that God has in store for you.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
David here with Royal Pest Services. It's back. Our summer Centricon Termite Special. New installs begin as low as $249. And if you have existing Centricon, but your renewal is through the roof, we can transfer you to Royal at no cost. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free estimate.
Life doesn't wait, and neither should you. Aleve can help you deal with pain less throughout your day. Whether it's a long day on your feet, a demanding workout, or everyday aches and pains, you need relief that can keep up when pain persists. Aleve is here for you with longer-lasting body pain relief compared to leading OTC-branded pain relievers. With just one pill, Aleve lasts up to 12 hours. Don't let those aches hold you back from doing what's important to you. Use as directed.
Brian Wall here. Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Has someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI, domestic violence, and all criminal offenses. In your battle with the justice system, there's only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645. 354-5645.
If a birthday or an anniversary is looming in your future, take care of it today by ordering a floral arrangement online at CuneFlowers.com. Hi, Flying Jacko here. Take it from me. An arrangement from Cune Flowers works like magic.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
When it's 8 o'clock, Hacker Nation takes over that. Tomorrow night, Thursday night, Friday night. Looking forward to those three programs. So you can say looking forward to, if you can't say, I can't wait. Big difference. And then I go away for a week. And this is nuts. I told you we went 1,900 miles a year ago. My GF and I, now her 6-year-old's in town. Dakota, staying with us for 44 days. She's already been here for probably 14 or so. But we're flying into Denver. I'm playing golf with a Florida State buddy the next morning. And then we're headed towards South Dakota. Apparently we're going to hit Nebraska, Wyoming, and then I think we're flying out of Montana. I don't handle the logistics. But, brother, I'm going to knock off a whole bunch of states I've never been to before.
How many states have you been to, you think? Roughly, most of them?
Well, if you knock off those, I think the only thing that will be left for me, South Dakota, I don't think we're going to make it to North Dakota. So North Dakota and New Mexico are 2. I don't believe I've ever been to West Virginia. And the one I can't figure out is Delaware. I had to have been through Delaware at one point in my life.
At least driven through it.
Yeah, I mean, I drove my trips back from Tallahassee, actually when I was a student. I didn't have a car, but rode with others and drove 24 hours to go from God's country to Boston. I kind of feel like I had to have gone through Delaware before. I would hate to have to make an announcement that my scheduled vacation is for Delaware, just to say that I've been to all 50 states. Although I imagine there's probably some pretty good things in Delaware. I don't know. Have you ever been?
No, I've only been to, my first time on a plane was last summer, if you didn't know.
I think I remember that.
Yeah,
Okay.
So I've been to Philly, Boston, Denver, which I just went to, and then I went to Vegas in March.
All right.
Those are the 4 spots I've been to. I'm thinking about next year. I don't know what what's on my itinerary. My brother turns 21. I think I'm going to go back out to Vegas and visit the Hoover Dam, and then there's a 2-hour drive if you go the furthest west to the Grand Canyon and check that out. So I think I might tentatively plan on doing that, but I don't know. I might do a cruise next year. I haven't done that either. There's a lot of things to do out there.
No doubt. You're a young guy. You can pull it all off. Cruises are a blast. They absolutely are. Getting some stuff in on Florida State after our conversation with Niall Lawrence Stample. Admittedly, I'm wired a little bit differently when it comes to my alma mater because I think I can comfortably say this. If I was to say to any Seminole fan, you're going 8-4, but you're losing to Bama, Miami, Clemson, and Florida, I think every single Florida State fan who would be given that opportunity would sign up for it after a 2-10 season. See, my mind doesn't work that way. I'm still this is Florida State, and they should be able to win 2 of those 4. Okay, I don't expect them to go 12-0, but they should be able to surprise Bama on opening day or knock off Miami midway through the season. Going to Clemson is so difficult, and going to Florida. But anyway, 8-4. Here's where I change. If you get to 8-4, and it's that way, I'm not going to love it, okay? But I think it's an improvement. And with the recruits that are coming in, I think there's some real promise there that this thing could be headed in the right direction. Now, I will say this, and I'll make no amends about it, okay? If they lose a 5th game, I'm demanding the firing of Mike Norvell. Don't give me this crap that they couldn't win at Virginia on a Friday night. I'm not in the mood for it, okay? Don't tell me you can't beat Pittsburgh in God's country. I'm not in the mood for that. I don't need excuses about a 10:30 night game out on the farm of Stanford. Send them there on a Tuesday and have them get acclimated to the West Coast, all right? Wake Forest at home. Beat them. Virginia Tech at home. Beat them. At that filthy snake pit in Raleigh. Snakes all over the place. All right? Venomous. Venomous snakes. Not poisonous. It's venomous. I'm not in the mood. Oh, they were looking ahead to Florida. No. You better win these games. That's where I'm going to draw the line. I'm not happy about accepting an 8-4. I'm not. But if it becomes a 7-5 and it becomes a 6-6, 6 years of Mike Norvell with that record is not acceptable. Period. Nothing else to say. My opinion on it. What did Frangie say today? 7 was the, I think we went through it, 7.5. So yeah. It really comes down to, they lose those 4. Do they lose another? And Dylan, if I was a betting man, based on what I've seen recently with this football team, I absolutely think they're going to lose a 5th game.
Yeah, you would think. I mean, the way college football is, you have a couple of injuries here and there. You don't know what the roster's like. You said time and time again, you don't know what kind of coach you have. You have a new OC. It's hard to predict what you think you are going to have if you're going to say, okay, this team is going to win 7-5. If you already guarantee that you already have 4 losses, that's going to be pretty tough. Especially if you have a couple of games on the road. Even though the road schedule is not exactly teams like that are hostile, but, you go all the way out to California this year, and you go all the way out to Cal. We saw that Miami team, who was really good, struggle.
Oh, yeah.
Play a 10-15 kick Eastern time.
No doubt.
And struggle out there. So, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, how many kids do you think, I don't know Florida State's roster, how many kids do you think on the roster have never been really outside of the Southeast and have to go all the way out to California and play a game?
Not many. Not many. Deuce Robinson the second, yeah, but not many at all. Yeah, Cal almost beat them. Miami came back late in the fourth quarter to win that game. Again, the excuses are presentable. 10:30 at night at Stanford, 2 Friday night games. What does that mean? You're getting away from the norm. You're getting away from coaches are about routine, and it's very habitual, right? You want things to be the exact week after week after week. It's not. It's going to be anything but.
Do you despise Friday night kicks in college football?
I think Friday night should be for high school football. Yeah. Even though I don't talk a lot of high school football here, admittedly, I don't. I think Friday night should be all high school. I think Thursday night and Saturday should be college football. And I think most of our listeners would agree. But, Florida State has 2 Friday night games.
Are any of those games at home?
They're both on the road.
Okay.
You go to Virginia and you go to NC State.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, for these high school kids, if those games are at home and you want to, open it up for visits, they're all playing. So it's, kind of pointless. But it being on the road is a little different.
Yeah. This schedule is nasty. They did Florida State no favors. Even week 2, when you have East Texas A&M. All right, you would think that'd be a huge alumni game. That'd be a situation where people come from all over the state that, they feel pretty good about the chances of actually winning that game, so you can settle in with the beer and talk with lifelong friends and family. They drop that game on you at noon. Okay? So, that should be a 7 o'clock night game where you're allowed to, to get festive and get into everything and go and enjoy yourself. I'm never going to try to tell you not to go and support any team. But if you're someone that's a season ticket holder here or someone that is considering buying tickets in town, are you going to get up at 6 a.m. and head over there for, this game now at noon? Or are you going to pay the gouging rates of getting a hotel room in Tallahassee on Friday and Saturday night? So we'll see what they do the following week with Kent State. Hopefully, actually, it's 2 weeks, so they're off on the 13th. Boy, that's an eerie bye too. Saturday, September 13th, after opening with Bama and then getting East Texas A&M. Yeah, the schedule makers did Florida State no help this year. I don't think anyone would argue with that. All right, we got some baseball underway. A bunch of games on this. What is it? Tuesday night. I guess that's a 7:40 start. Going to key in on Clayton Kershaw tonight. 3,000 career strikeouts during his last start. But I just love the 216 and 94 and a win percentage of 69.7. It'd be great if he could get to 70% of his wins. Just think about that, especially during modern day baseball. It's miraculous, and it just feels like he doesn't get the attention that he deserves. I didn't know they changed the stadium in Milwaukee. It's American Family Field now. I'm old enough to remember when that was Miller Park. And I love Milwaukee. It's a great city. It's the only place I've ever been where there's a baseball game where they tailgate before the game. Most Major League Baseball stadiums are surrounded by bars, right? Fenway Park and Wrigley Field, the two that really stick out more than any. You were just at Coors. You went to a game. You saw the bars that surrounded Coors Field, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Milwaukee's totally different. It's kind of a pasture, if you will. There's a couple of bars not far away because I know that during the tie, when Bud Selig, had the tie, I was actually on the air doing my show from a bar that was, right on the outskirts of the parking lot. But they actually wheel out the kielbasa, the Italian sausage, the Polish sausage. I've never seen people tailgate at a baseball game.
No, I haven't seen that either. And by the way, American Family Field was named the field starting in 2021.
Okay,
it's been a minute. It's still Miller Park, but it's one of those Ben Hill Griffin Stadium at Steve Spurrier Florida Field, one of those kind of things. But I don't know of any baseball teams that tailgate.
No,
I know lacrosse does, like up in Virginia. That's a big deal for them. College basketball, college football, obviously. High school football does a little bit, depending on if it's a small town. Never seen it for baseball.
Nope. And here's Kauffman Stadium. That's surrounded by bars. Wright Field now in Chicago. Boy, that's dangerous. Let me tell you that. I went to quite a few Red Sox, White Sox games. There's nothing around there. But, I've been to Houston. Certainly, I've been to – we stayed in Minneapolis for, 4 days a few years ago when the Jaguars practiced against the Minnesota Vikings, and right there, Target Field, smack dab in the middle of Minneapolis, surrounded by bars. So it is kind of the exception. I know Hard Rock is a little bit like that in Miami. Yeah, that maybe be another one, but I certainly never have seen people for a baseball game tailgate before the Florida Marlins and or the Miami Marlins played a game. Much more to do. With you tonight till 8 o'clock. He's still in Denmark. I'm Rick Ballou. This is Into the Night.
1010XL.
Have your boarding passes ready.
Jacksonville Sports Radio Mothership.
That's one small step for man.
Ballou here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Football season is almost here, so before it arrives, I'm going to get my home organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, anywhere that needs to be organized. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off during the month of July. Call 878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save 15% on roof replacements and repairs now through July 31st. And financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
I open the door and take you inside the locker room to get you closer to the field, the players and coaches you care about.
Get a look at Hayes' blog on 1010XL.com.
My blog is brought to you by Roland Reese Plumbing,
where quality and experience count.
When your plumbing backs up, your septic's acting shady, or your AC quits on a 95-degree day, who are you going to call? Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Don't take just our word for it. Here's what real customers are saying about their experience with our company.
Megan in the office was so helpful and polite. Scheduling was easy, and the tech showed up right on time.
From plumbing and septic to air conditioning, we do it all. Call 904-862-6769 or online at duckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
Vegas, baby.
Vegas, baby.
Helmets and Heels is back at Circa Resort and Casino with 2 epic pro football contests, Circa Million and Circa Survivor. Here's the scoop. In Circa Million, pick 5 games against the spread each week for quarterly prizes and a $1 million grand prize for the season winner. Then there's the legendary Circus Survivor. One pick a week, no spread. Last one standing wins a guaranteed $15 million. Must enter in Nevada, then play from anywhere. Visit circusports.com for all the details.
Plus, sign up for either contest and score 50% off a 2-night stay at Circa Resort and Casino. You can even join the Ultimate Football Kickoff with Helmets and Heels in Vegas, August 21st and 22nd while you enter. Book your stay at Circa now and chase $21 million in guaranteed prizes. No rake. For full contest details, check out 1010xl.com/Vegas. Vegas, baby.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
It's Mike Dempsey, and now's the time to get your roof hurricane ready with Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jax Beach. Look, our rainy season is no joke, and if your roof's got damage, leaks, or it's just plain worn out, don't wait. Apex is local, dependable, and will show up on time using only premium materials with ironclad warranties. No shortcuts, no stress, just quality work you can trust. Skip the storm season scramble. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jax Beach or visit apexroofingfl.com.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service. 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
Need the right tools for the job without the full-time price tag? Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach is what you need when you need it. From heavy machinery for commercial projects to weekend projects at the house, we've got you covered. We've been serving Jax for 50 years. Visit Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach, just behind Aqua East Surf Shop, or call today. We also have event rentals too. Tucker Equipment Rentals. Tools you need without the price tag of purchasing.
Celebrate National Carpet Cleaning Month with Zero Res. Hicken here. Check this out. $45 per room of carpet clean. Take 20% off your air duct services. Book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com and take advantage of the savings.
Zero Res. 1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jax cool since '87.
I just mentioned Clayton Kershaw trying to get a 70% win percentage, which is just incredible historically speaking. 216 and 84. 216 and 94 in his career, .697. Well, he gets a leadoff home run by Ohtani, his 31st of the year. Again, this game is in Milwaukee tonight. Playing a little bit later on will be Manny Machado. He got his 2000th career hit last night. He becomes the 298th player to do so. But what's really interesting here with Machado, he could become the 8th player in the history of the game to have 3,000 hits and 500 home runs. Now, he's got a ways to go. Again, 2,001 hits and 357 home runs. And Willie Mays and Hank Aaron are the two obvious names. And, you know, then Eddie Murray did it primarily in the 70s and the 80s. The last guys were modern. Miguel Cabrera, Al Pujols, and Alex Rodriguez. But that's it. No Babe Ruth, no Mel Ott, no Mickey Mantle, no Joe DiMaggio, no Ted Williams, no Roberto Clemente, no Frank Robinson, no Tony Perez, Orlando Cepeda. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. No Mike Schmidt.
Barry Bonds.
No George Brett. No Ken Griffey Jr. No Barry Bonds. I mean, that is amazing. Only 7 players. Oh, actually, I made a mistake. The seventh player is not in the Hall of Fame. Neither is A-Rod, I guess, or Pujols and Cabrera's not eligible. Rafael Palmeiro also did it. Incredible. Palmeiro absolutely should be in the Hall of Fame, but that whole steroid situation obviously has upset the masses. All right, before we bring in Hacker Nation, the big story of the day, let me find it for you, for fans. Here we go. The Jaguars announced when fans can watch Jaguars training camp at the Miller Electric Center. You can go to the very first day. That'll be Wednesday, July 23rd. Gates are going to open at 7. Parking lots at 7. Gates at 7:45. Practice expected to start at 8:30. So it's Wednesday, July 23rd, Thursday, July 24th, Friday, July 25th, Sunday, July 27th, Monday, July 28th, Tuesday, July 29th, and then 2 August dates. Sunday, August 3rd, and Tuesday, August 5th. There's going to be more practices during training camp where there'll be media accessibility. But as far as the fans, those are your dates. And all I can tell you is go to Jaguars.com to get all of that information. It's going to be here before you know it.
Now, the 2-minute drill on 1010XL.
Hacker Nation is here. I know you were excited to get these dates to begin to schedule the latter part of July.
I always liked Liam Cohen since they hired him. I like him even more now with the 8:30 in the morning practices. That's a beautiful thing. So it won't be a billion degrees out there for the hardworking media like you and I.
I'm going to disagree. I'd like to sleep in and get there around noon. I don't mind the heat.
Well, when you have a 6-year-old that gets up and gets to school at 7 a.m. anyway, or for summer camp, 8:30 is not going to bother me all that much. But no, I got my Jaguar email from the Jaguar PR staff today and got my, form for the media credentials. So, yeah, we're 2 weeks from tomorrow until training camp. And, in fact, we're a month from tomorrow until the Jaguars' first preseason game.
Is that so?
Yeah, 1 month from tomorrow.
That is nuts. So we'll have a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday work on the 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 27th. And then that Monday will be the first full day in pads.
You and I have timed this out pretty good. We've both been doing this a while. We're both on vacation next week before training camp. It's like you and I kind of had an inkling this was going to happen.
Yeah, and it only makes sense. Enjoy yourself here during the summer, but that's it. We'll check back a week from Monday, and then I'll be in here for the grind, and I love it. It'll be 6 months of football that begins on, I guess it's July 19th or so, July 20th.
21st.
All right, 21st. Goes all the way through the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing for me. And it got here quick. I know we've talked about it a lot, but we really didn't have an off season. And for the work that you and I do, that's a good thing because the Jaguars were constantly in the news. There was constantly something going on. And that's one of the things I'm going to lead the show off with tonight. Biggest thing that happened this offseason was that the hire of Liam Cohen, the hire of James Gladstone, the trade for Travis Hunter, or the firing of Doug Peterson and Trent Baalke, or a combination of all four. What was the biggest thing that happened to the Jaguars this offseason?
Easy way out would be the combo of 4, but I'm going to jump right in here and go with C. I'm going to go with Travis Hunter.
You're going to go with Travis Hunter?
I'm going to go with Travis Hunter.
Because my thought process
I called it.
Yeah, you did call it. I'll give you credit. You, me, and Carline were here, and you did call that. I'm going to say it's the firing of Peterson and Baalke.
Okay.
Because if Peterson and Baalke don't get fired, obviously Cohen and Gladstone aren't here, and I will bet you anything that Travis Hunter would not be here.
Well, it sounds like a good topic if we're spitting out different answers. All right, what else you got tonight?
Yeah, so Steve Palazzolo of the Check the Mic podcast and the 33rd team, he's going to join me to talk about the Jaguar offseason, and it's media days schedule already. The Big 12 media days is going on right now. SEC Media Days is next week. So Bill Bender of the Sporting News stops by to talk a little Florida, Florida State, Georgia, and Miami. That comes up at about 8:45 this evening.
How about Commissioner Brett Yormark today saying the Big 12 is the most competitive conference in college football?
Whatever helps him sleep better at night, I guess.
Man. Have a good show.
Thanks, Rick.
All right, there he goes. That's Hacker Nation. That's going to do it for us. Thank you to Niall Lawrence Stample. He just sounds like a football player. Appreciate that. Got a lot of response from Florida State fans out there and some Florida State non-fans out there. Tough to believe tomorrow is Wednesday, but we'll be here for it. Thank you to our producer, Dylan Denmark. My name is Rick Ballou. Again, we'll talk tomorrow night at 6 o'clock right here on your home of the Jags.